let's try this again. Welcome to GatorLAN Winter 2015. This is the Dota 2 tournament. This is one of the games being played currently in the upper bracket. There was a prelim match prior to the start of the LAN, so these teams probably might have already played against each other. I'm not too sure. So starting out, we have once again the Void and the Death Prophet bands. Oh, they're going really fast now. Alright.
Quick Tyler band.
Tyler is one of those general bands that also very nice to just take out, like you said about the Chronosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Bat Rider band.
Interesting.
Oh. So what can you say about the Wisp nowadays? Like, Wisp is getting more and more play.
I mean, if you're good at Wisp, I think that he's just a really good quality hero, depending on what you draft, obviously. But just in general, he makes for some really great saves. The overcharge is really strong, and relocate is always powerful, especially if you don't have this kind of Chronosphere and type in to lock him down. Drow Ranger and Visage is some pretty classic cheese for taking towers really fast, so that's a pretty straightforward combo pick, I think.
Yeah, they removed the Death Prophet, but they're also going for some sort of really good strong pushing. So.
And there's a tiny to go with the Wisp, so that's.
We're seeing some classic combos coming out here. I like seeing this. Those are some really good combinations.
They're fun to watch too.
Yeah. And with that being on the board, we do get to see like what I believe to be the position 1 players, or well, actually both Drow and Tiny Wisp combo can go mid to get a lot of levels up and potentially power up their team. Especially with that, if you get an early relocate gank, you never know what the hell might happen. So watch out for that.
Right. I like the Disruptor ban against Wisp. I think he's really, like, obviously you can use Glimpse to bring people back from relocate saves, so I think it's a nice kind of solid counter ban.
Yeah, and following up on that, Troll Warlord has been seeing a lot of play, and that ultimate, that Troll ultimate with Tiny could be really devastating now that I think about it.
Yeah, definitely.
5 seconds remain.
Goodness. So that's a really good ban, and Troll's been seeing a lot of play too, just like... Did Troll receive any real buffs in the last patch?
I'll check real quick, but I don't remember anything really super significant.
Yeah, just like he's just suddenly seen so much play. It's like Juggernaut, except for Juggernaut, you saw that 7 agility gain.
Yeah.
For a buff, so it might not be such a big a surprise.
Oh well, the one thing that I actually was happy about was Troll's his fervor stacks. They used to not stack up as fast as they were supposed to. Like, you'd have to hit twice to get the first stack, and now you get the first stack on the first hit. So it's just a minor buff. Like, it's not that huge, but it's a little bit. So maybe just what he needed to push him over the edge, I guess.
Yeah, alright.
5 seconds remain.
And then we see a Viper ban as well as Nature's Prophet. Both removing another global, actually. For the Dire takeaway.
Right.
And we see a Magnus pickup.
Magnus pickup, eh?
So we're not going for the full 5 range comp, unfortunately.
Right. I wonder if they're gonna pick something to kind of combo with the Magnus a little bit. So far, no. It's interesting.
Nothing to really use that buff too well, but except for Drow, he gets a huge amount of base damage, so that might work.
That's true.
It's not a melee that you'd like to put it on, but works. Oh, a Bounty Hunter! Bounty Hunter is an interesting hero that they did actually buff. I don't exactly like the buff too much, since I always find Bounty to have some sort of mana issues. But for those who don't know, Track, Bounty Hunter's ultimate, the cooldown on it was reduced to 4 seconds. It was originally, I believe, 10-7-5, so it's a good buff, but he still has mana problems.
Something else cool now is the Shuriken bounces between everyone who was tracked on them.
Oh yeah, that's such a fun mechanic. It has like a 900 bounce range.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
So it's like, you can just chain people like running off, even if you can't catch up to them. It's like, alright, throw it at your buddy, bounces, you're dead. Right. So, you see a Lion as well as a Storm ban. Lion has been seeing so much play recently.
Yeah, I mean, he's also really solid against Weaver, because that instant Hex, again, can just stop Weaver from running away, and you can lock him down for a long time. So I think that's a solid ban. Well, actually, no, it was a ban from the team that didn't pick. Wow, okay, well, that's weird then. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but yeah, he's really popular, like you said.
Well, they do have a Bounty Hunter to potentially track down that Weaver. So I guess Bounty Hunter, I believe, they did Magnus, then Vengeful, then Weaver, then Bounty Hunter, so
Gotcha.
potentially a counter pick in a way.
Right.
So, then Ogre Magi being picked up. What a hero. He did get nerfed in the recent patch. They lowered the cast range of his Fire Blast, but he's still that one glass cannon. Well, he's not a glass cannon. He's one of those unlimited potential heroes that just can blow up people.
Yeah. Just you roll the cosmic dice, and once in a while you get lucky.
5 seconds.
Something as an IO, the Vengeful Spirit, and a Bounty Hunter, the squishies.
Reserve time.
Mm-hmm. The Bloodlust too on Drow. She's gonna be attacking so fast.
Oh yeah, there's some really good heroes of Bloodlust. And the last pick coming out from here, it's got the Silencer. Alright.
Team pick.
Interesting.
Got a little bit of in-game lag. Heroes are loading up, unfortunately, but what do you think this Silencer... Okay, so we already have a Vengeful Spirit and an IO, so you think it's a mid-Silencer?
They could do Silencer mid. I feel like the Tiny and Wisp would do really well against Magnus mid. So if they run that mid and just put Silencer safe lane, I wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, it is kind of hard to tell. They could do it either way.
Yeah. I feel like Tiny and Wisp in the mid lane gives a lot of control.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And something that's neat that you can see these players do sometimes is you get a quick bottle up on Wisp, and then while Tiny's CSing, Wisp can go and take Tiny's bottle and his own bottle and get both runes.
Oh yeah, that's one of the advantages of having the IO Doctor in the mid lane. It's like he picks up the runes for you, and Tiny can just spam out his mana. And since Tether gives an extra like 1.5x amount of mana and HP, you can just spam away. Just so effective on Tiny.
Yeah, and with a Magnus mid, if it is, then it's going to be pretty easy for Tiny to do that CSing.
So we're probably going to see an off-lane Weaver then. Alright. Alright, so let's introduce the teams. On the Radiant side, we have Jimmy Rustlers. Great Day, I believe, is the captain. He is playing on the Visage. We have Luff Waffles playing the Drow. Schwa I don't even know. Playing the Weaver. Raven191 playing the Magnus. And we have Juan Valadez playing the Ogre Magi. And they are going to be smoking up to that top lane.
Interesting.
They're going to be met by a Bounty Hunter who actually picks up the stealth. Their smoke is going to pop prematurely.
Yeah.
Do they have detection? They do have a Sentry Ward. Will they drop it? They know the spot's been propped. They haven't dropped it. Ogre Magi hasn't dropped it yet. So that's unfortunate. That was a free smoke pop. They do lay an Observer Ward. Stun onto the Weaver. We have some early action. Sentries being dropped. Skewer back onto 2. Sniper Penguin will take the first fall. And now, Bounty Hunter is not in a good position. His invis is not going to do anything for him with the sentry in range. Oh, actually jumps right out of it. And dies with one more auto attack as another sentry is dropped. Actually, that is a dire sentry. Which we'll see that sentry, Observer Ward, but oh yeah, there's a Weaver. That's right. So 2-for-1 trade. Obviously, the Radiant taking a First Blood will have the advantage. Weaver taking the fall, not going to be too bad. He does get 25 EXP. Alright.
Yep.
It's not too bad. Overall, you know, First Blood going on to... Who picked it up? Visage. Magnus picking up a kill early. Will accelerate his bottle. And it's going to be the IO Wisp mid.
That's not surprising with the Magnus, I think. It's just a really easy lane for them, so... Surprising to me is that, well, they are running dual lane top, Weaver and Ogre. And I guess Ogre can do can lay some pretty good harass out on the Silencer, but it's going to be a hard lane for Ogre to stay in.
Oh yeah. I feel like with the stats that Ogre does have, he should be okay. And I don't know if
he did buy 8 tangos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing a lot of damage to this. They're trading a lot of damage. Juan here, Valdez takes a stun as well as the last word. He's probably going to fall to this last word damage, yep. +2 intelligence on the Silencer. Sniper Penguin dropping super low. Will drop a sentry before he dies. And Weaver won't have a Sakuchi at level 1. Will fall as well to his auto attacks. And Silencer was still holding his point, so he could have gone for Glaze of Wisdom and pumped up some extra damage before that happened, but... Picks up the Curse of Sign. And that's a 2-for-1 trade. Right?
Yep.
So far, I've neglected to introduce the Sacrosanct team. We have Bowman on the Silencer, who's already been a part of 3 kills. It is really good for his intelligent gain. Sniper Penguin on that visit, Vengeful Spirit, sorry, that visage. We have Voltage playing the IO, just stacking up the camps and helping his buddy in the mid, Paladin Knight on that Tiny. And then on the off lane we have a solo Vacom back. I don't even know how to say this.
What's that?
Bavam.
Zavum.
That's such a weird. The Z and the V. I just can't. All right, on the bounty hunter. All right.
Okay.
Done with that. So how do you think this top lane is going to turn out? We've already seen this early little skirmish and Curse of Silent burning up the mana. Silencer is getting pretty far ahead. You can see right now that he only has 6 CS, but he's level 3 with +6 intelligence.
Yeah, I think that maybe it's too late, but I think that they should have maybe just sent Ogre bottom to begin with for maybe a bit of a try-in. I mean, obviously this is a solo bounty hunter, so with the sentry, the stun, and Drow, they could probably get kills on bounty hunter, but
Yep.
here Weaver's gonna fall.
Yeah, right now he got last word. He gets silenced, but there's not enough up damage. Thanks to the stun out from Ogre Magi onto the silencer. Now, this looks like Weaver's just gonna sit here and eat tangos and try and go back in the lane. There's enough mana for another stun from Vengeful Spirit if they do manage to get in range, but with no boots, it should be easy to maintain range as Weaver.
I do think he should have just maybe soloed the lane and soaked up XP.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Ogre staying up here either.
Yeah.
He's not gonna add too much pressure, but
Right.
Ignite is always good. Actually, I would have opted for a level 2 Ignite, since Fire Blast at level 3 isn't going to offer as much.
No.
You don't want to spam that out. And Ignite is just so annoying.
Look at this stack Wisper's building up, eh?
Oh yeah. Got a triple stack right now? Not bad. They didn't actually break the trees down to stack both the medium camp and the large camp, so that's not as good as it could be. But they are getting what Tiny likes to have, those stats in jungle. Opted to pick up a power treads. Tiny leading the CS board with 26. Drow with 20 in the bot lane. You're gonna see Bounty Hunter right here. We'll get one auto attack gets disjointed though. No problem. Bounty Hunter doesn't exactly get too much farm in this off lane, but he only wants the levels really.
Right. So like he just needs enough levels to have track, and then he can just go somewhere and find someone alone, and then Tiny and Wisp can just relocate in. So I don't think they're really depending on him to have gold.
Yeah, he's not really the one who needs the farm. He just soaks up the EXP, and that's what Bounty Hunter wants basically. Once he gets that track gold, who really needs farm? Let's be honest. Just find kills.
So this is the second time in a row Wisp has tried to stack this camp and has failed.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna get
too bad.
past. It's really hard to get it past a triple stack. You have to shift up your timings a bit. So, Bounty Hunter now in the mid lane, level 5, doesn't quite have the track, but there's a half HP Magnus. Looks like they're going to try and go on him. Charging in, the stun will land from Tiny, tosses him up. That will be enough to secure the kill. The Bounty Hunter didn't even have to land a single blow. So no assists, but he does get assist gold as well as half a level of the XP. Not too bad. Actually, it doesn't show any EXP on here. That's funny. He was in range. Weaver trying to go play aggressive bit, scooches in, will get silenced as well as last worded, or stunned as well as last worded. Will fall thanks to that newly placed sentry. Ogre here, left alone, gets stunned again. Coming out. Bowman trying to man up. Will be able to pick up the kill before he gets potentially right clicked to death by Ogre.
The Sounds is already sitting on 10 stolen in.
Yeah, this is gone a bit too far. I mean, eventually Ogre and Weaver won't be able to cast any spells. They're already sitting at less than 300
Mid
mana.
lane, they're going on Magnus.
Yeah. Skewer back onto Tiny. RP does come out. not a follow-up as not enough mana for a shockwave, nor any damage, thanks to that overcharge, lowering the amount of damage coming out. There is a TP from the Ogre Magi. Won't quite result in anything, so. Visage trying to play with the Bounty Hunter right now, will pull out the Great Chill. And Bounty Hunter just goes into stealth. Just trying to steal some EXP from the jungle. He is very close to level 6. Mid lane rotation. Juan Valdez trying to find a little stun onto Paladin Knight. Unfortunately not finding it. Aya's level 4. So no, last word as well as Curse of the Silent onto Weaver. He's already at half HP.
Yeah, this is a really rough lane. You can see how far behind he is on farm too because of the harass he's been getting. Bottom lane, Bounty Hunter getting hit. Grave Chill, oh, invisible, but a sentry's gonna reveal him, and now he goes down.
Yeah. A lot of detection being played out by both teams, and it is resulting in kills. Man.
Tiny's already well on his way to Eggs. He's just 2k gold off.
Oh yeah, he's going straight for the Axe. He's 2k off from it, and he's bought the Ogre Club right now. So not in a, he's in a pretty good position, especially since he's leading in farm.
Right.
Magnus is trying to secure his rune and just giving up so much farm. Regen rune being picked up, so quite fortuitous. He decides to go back in mid lane. There's actually a Bounty Hunter level 6 now roaming, looking for that Magnus. Top lane, some aggression once again. Ignite being thrown out.
Oh, Bounty Hunter's pinging out Magnus. They want to go on him.
They get the track on him. Tiny uses his stun as well as his toss to farm the wave, however, so they're not going to quite go on him. Skewer onto the low ground. Io gets tossed off. Not quite any tether slow there. Will feed off the kill, but they are going for this crack kill. Stun will land and Paladin Knight will pick up the kill. Alright. So I'm not quite sure if that was the best way to feed off your support, but entertaining nonetheless.
In the meantime, Drow takes the bottom tower. She's 8 now, so it went down pretty fast.
Oh yeah. In the free levels, Visage actually now being spotted out here. He will not be attacked quite yet. Visage could potentially get killed here, but not quite it. So, with that little dive, they do get the track kill. Bounty, I'm not sure got any gold or not, but the track gold does go in benefit of Paladin Knight. Not too bad. We'll pick up his first stack right here with the help of the IO. Actually decides to run away, wait for cooldowns. Now we have a Magnus. He actually gets spotted out by the creeps, so this won't be quite as sneaky. There's also a Bounty Hunter around. They're going on to Juan Valdez. Stun goes onto the Silencer. Silencer dropping fairly low. There's a track now onto the Weaver. Weaver will fall as well to the Silencer last word damage. Silencer unfortunately will not pick up that damage. RP from a Skewer comes in, followed by a Shockwave. Bounty Hunter will get away, but Vengeful Seer will take the fall to the creeps. That is a 2-for-1 trade.
It's a lot of XP for Ogre at least, but with Weaver dying like the way he has been, he's really not going to be contributing a lot to the game for a very long time.
Yeah, he's not getting too much farm. He's on par with Silencer as well as the Magnus, but it's not a good lane for him at this point. And
no.
Bounty Hunter now going on to Juan Valdez, followed up with a Silencer last word. Silence comes out, huge amount of damage. And a Shuriken will pick up the last hit. Silencer gains another +2. This is the kind of game that Silencer likes to thrive in. Just like so much free smarts.
Yeah, I mean it's 10 minutes. He's 12 in. It's not the way you want your enemy Silencer to be if you're PEK right now.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about the Silencer is like infinite growth, just because he can make your opponents dumber in a way. So. I'm not sure if I think they should try to find some way out of this loop that they're going through. What do you think they can do? They can't lay Observer Wards in the top lane to spout out ganks because there's sentries everywhere.
Right. If I'm the Radiant right now, I think, well, Drow's doing the jungle, but the bottom lane is pushed out really far. I would maybe put Weaver down there, try to pull the lane back. Like, he's down there right now. Maybe try to pull the lane back, though, and get the CS closer to his own tower so he can maybe try to get some farm in a safer place.
Yeah,
I think laning against the Silencer is just a bad idea, especially now that Silencer's 6 and you can just global silence to stop him from running away.
Oh yeah, that's definitely an issue. got some really good disables coming out of the silencer for him.
Yeah.
If you can't Sakuchi, then you might as well you can, or time lapse for that matter.
Yep.
So they do drop a sentry here. Time Radiant will not spot out anything quite. But this combination of the Vengeful Spirit Silencer working out a bit better than I thought it would.
Glaives of Wisdom adds so much early damage, especially with the with the way he's been getting it, and I mean the passive from Venge is always nice for doing a little bit extra damage. So.
And they just keep buffing this Glaive of Wisdom passive.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny how they're doing it, but Ice Frog just wants it to become a thing.
So Bounty Hunter sneaking up. Yeah, here we go. Here's a relocate gank with Bounty Hunter.
Tiny coming in with the Ags already up. They're gonna have that track onto him. They won't be able to catch him. The stun goes up. And the toss, actually the IO ball will probably take that last hit. Relocate. He'll take him back to
That's an
the mid
errand
lane.
for Bounty Hunter now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing. Bounty Hunter really doesn't need the gold as long as he has that kind of global surprise gank. He can just soak up the track gold. He doesn't need to farm in lane.
200 gold for himself is just a huge amount. That's in addition to the assist gold. Okay, global silence coming out as RP was probably being attempted as after the stun will get swapped back into the fountain, and Silencer will pick up the kill right after the track goes on. So that's a huge boon for Bounty.
Perfect.
And another +2 in for the Silencer.
And look mid, Tiny is just wailing on this tower now with his Aghanims and Overcharge. It's going down.
Yeah, that extra 75% damage just going on. We'll pick up the last hit as well. And this is where, well actually, if I was raiding, I'd be super concerned already because you have a extremely heavy farmed Tiny, and you have a very fed, smart Silencer. And you have a Drow Ranger, and you have a Weaver, so you have potentially really two strong carries, but Drow's mid-game right now isn't being used very well. Think about
I was
it.
kind of excited to see the early push with the Visage Birds and Drow, but they really haven't attempted that even at all.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. We haven't seen... Drow, Visage is almost level 8, so... We haven't seen the birds used to too much potential yet. Oh, this Sentry Ward, if he steps out a tiny bit more... Actually, the Skewer misses. Multicast goes on to Baxum. Will be a 4-man RP as the relocate comes in. The Tiny will pick up the kill onto the Magnus, who is trying to retreat out, but now it's just a 1-for-1. Stun goes onto Valdez. Relocate takes Tiny out. The swap once again coming out. It's another +2 win for the Silencer. Sniper Penguin might fall here. There is not enough. Oh, there is actually one Sakuchi comes out. One auto attack will be able to do it. They probably will fall for this read. And I'm not sure if that's worth it or not.
I don't think it's worth it. I mean, every kill is just more and more int for the Silencer, who's already far ahead.
Yeah, and meanwhile, we actually missed a kill. Tiny Wisp going onto the Visage, who I think picked up the mid-tower with Drow. So, I'm not sure that Vengeful Spirit kill was worth it. And that's another -2 int.
I think if I was Weaver, I can see myself having just been frustrated with the way the game was going and seeing an opportunity to get a kill and just going for it. But that kind of tunnel vision isn't how you need to be playing when you're this far behind.
Looks like we have a crash, so we have to wait for the Weaver to reconnect.
Tiny 0-4 with 2.5k gold.
Yeah, this Tiny has unlimited potential at this point, the Ags. So, 1.7 K gold ahead of the Drow. Drow not taking part of 1 kill and 2 assists. Probably the Bounty Hunter in the bot lane. Alright, looks like we're going to wait a bit longer for this pause, but
Okay.
So right now, you can see definitely the Radiant is on the back foot. Let's check the gold graph and the EXP graph. Net worth is about 4k difference. EXP sitting around 3k. It's not as bad as it could possibly be, but with the Bounty Hunter, with the Silencer, with the Tiny, you're looking at huge growth potential.
Yeah, and that doesn't even show things like you know how fast Tiny got his Aghanims. It's just like it seems weird to me for Tiny to rush Aghanims the way he did, but you know at the same time he has this Wisp player who has really been on the ball with his bottle usage, and he's carrying Arcane. So normally I would say get drums on Tiny, but there's so much mana coming out of Wisp that he really just doesn't need it. I think the fast eggs for just taking the towers when there's space. It's a really good idea.
Oh yeah. Usually see drums as a second item for Tiny before the Aghanims, as it does add mana, move speed, attack speed, and strength. All these stats that he wants, so it's an incredibly cost-effective item. So we'll see what he opts for next. He's sitting on 2.6k gold. He could go for his AC straight up, or he could go for drums, or he could look for. What else do you think he could pick up?
I mean, I think the AC is probably what I would go for. Maybe that, or maybe a Manta.
Oh yeah.
To break the drought silence. That's about it, though. But I'm just with this Wisp being on his game the way he has. I wouldn't really be concerned with building up too much mana if I was Tiny.
Yeah. This IO's 115, pretty far ahead considering Arcane Boots and Bottle for a support that rarely gets much. And then you compare it to Sadeko in the DAC play when he gets a Bloodstone on the Wisp.
Right.
Don't even. Alright.
Drow's just a couple gold away from a ultimate orb if she chooses to go Manta. I think
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea.
Let's see, it can move track, it can disjoint, stun. It won't do very much against Tiny or the Silencer, I don't think.
If the Radiant chooses to try to split push though, when team fights are going on with Drow and the birds maybe, Manta's a lot better now on Drow, especially with the buff to illusions with her ultimate.
Back to the indecipherable
Yeah.
gibberish.
Drow's very pesky, annoying, and with the move speed as well as illusions, he can be.
She's gonna get caught out right now.
Free kill! Bounty Hunter just in the right area, just knowing that Drow Ranger is running around low HP.
There goes that ultimate orb.
Yeah. Really close to it. Got a little bit greedy. A free track kill for the Bounty Hunter. This bounty actually is on 4th on net worth. That's really good. Top lane, Juan Valdez on the Ogre Magi gets stunned up. Twice in a row, will fall instantly. The rotation coming out from Paladin Knight. Voltage on that Wisp dropping fairly low. Actually, if that Soul Assumption went onto the Wisp, might have died, but
Yep.
4 people up here on top lane. It will be Tiny going for the AC next, stun onto Raven X as well as the last word. A huge amount of damage coming out. Probably will not die here. The Curse of the Silent lives on 100 HP. And they're just gonna keep going at it, I guess. They're just farming it up, and they want this tier 1.
If I were the Dire right now, I'd just send Tiny and Wisp bottom and say, hey, push that tower, we got the entire enemy team up here. If they decide to engage, just relocate in.
Oh yeah. Oh, Bounty Hunter finding a free pick off. The backside, he actually sneaks up behind and shurikens. We have a 2-man stun coming out from Paladin Knight. We'll do huge amount of damage. Drow will drop. Soul Assumption you used on the Bounty Hunter will fall as well. Now Soul Assumption landing once again onto the Tiny.
Radiant's top tower
And
is
will they decide to pursue this? Visage
They have
with
to
no
get back,
mana.
their top tower's gonna go down.
Yeah. Silencer just throwing out the right clicks.
Radiant's top
That's the
tower
scariest
is
thing ever. Especially when being compared to Tiny. But,
Right? He does have 20 stolen it.
oh my gosh. So disgusting. Usually when I see core silencers, you see Ags and Refresher Rush. This one's gone for a Force Staff as well as a Ultimate Orb.
It's probably gonna be a Scythe, I think.
Yeah. Going for the heavy crowd control is not bad. Especially when you're dealing with a pesky Weaver.
Right.
So, that's really a really good pickup. I feel like while the Ags Refresher... Oh, they did nerf the Ags by that 1 second, but still really strong as this lineup, especially everyone on the Radiant side is very spell dependent except for the Drow.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is, with all the int that Weaver's been losing, an ultimate from Silencer with an Aghanims would just drain his mana down to 0.
Oh, completely. That is a very good point. I think it drains like 300 or 400 mana.
32 times 6.
Radiant's top tower is under
32 times 6 is 180 something. Mana loss, okay, that's mana loss. HP, damage is about double that.
Radiant's top tower
And if he lands the Curse of Silent itself on him, That's
Mm-hmm.
another 6
Doubles.
seconds.
Yeah. And so here's bottom. Tiny's just gonna hit the tower.
Yeah, Ancient Stack is scouted out by Bounty Hunter. Will go onto him, track, as well as the Global Silence, so Ogre Magi will not be able to respond. Stun goes onto the Drow, and that results in 2 more kills. Another 4 intelligence. This is just out of control.
It's crazy, and you know, Tiny and Wisp are doing exactly what they should have been doing. Just like push the bottom tower. If there's a fight, we'll show up. Like we have a global presence, but we have to do so much work against towers bottom.
That was just a flawless engage. Just the Global Silence to prevent Ochre Magi from retaliating. Drow just not in a great position, even at her Ancients. Oh, we have a Skewer coming out from Raven. Stun coming out from Tiny only lands onto the Weaver as a result of that Skewer. Not quite an engage. We actually have
Visage.
yeah, another kill picked up by a Bounty Hunter.
More importantly, by with the silencer around.
Yeah.
So much in.
Raven getting popped by the Wisp balls while he's casting RP. Unfortunate, pulling that little Wisp next to you might result in some casualties, apparently. And this is completely out of hand. I don't know if Ray didn't have an out at this point.
I mean, here's a completed AC on Tiny coming on the courier. Well, they just turned the courier around for some reason, but his AC is on the courier. Tiny is so much farm. It's just going to be hard for them to do anything, for the Radiant team to do anything against this Tiny.
Yeah, and this is... Usually, Drow has the mid game, Tiny has the late game. And the fact that Tiny is currently sitting at 7-0-4...
So, Drow, after all, didn't go for a Manta. She decided to get up a Blink Dagger instead. That's something that really surprises me, because with the way she's been getting picked off by Bounty Hunter, I don't think she's ever going to be able to blink away from the engage.
Oh yeah, they don't have the vision to stop this Bounty Hunter. It's like playing against a hero that you don't usually see. You don't know how to respond to it, and
you just kind of stick to what you're used to getting on the hero.
Yeah, if you play against something you don't know how to play against, you might not change how you play your playstyle. Like it's like playing against a techies in a way. Playing against techies, you have to be wary of these mines and walking into locations where he might have been. T3 goes down. They're going for the melee racks. Meanwhile, on top lane, they do pick up the tier 2, just quite barely as they TP back. Sans onto Paladin Knight. Drow wants to find some damage on. That track adding a lot of move speed onto them. Relocate out. Raven will fall to the last word as he attempts to skewer out. Weaver now coming in, will pick up the kill onto Vigil Spirit as she was overstaying her welcome.
This could be really good or really bad for the Tiny. Oh,
Yep,
Wisp leaves Tiny in the base. He's fine.
Yeah, almost picked the kill onto the Weaver there, but result is a 1 for 2 trade, losing the Magnus and another 2 intelligence for 2 supports.
And the melee racks, and you know, a relocate. Yeah. Tiny could just take the range racks.
Oh yeah, that'll have to wait another 60 seconds, but this range mag is basically dead.
Yeah.
There's backdoor protection, but I'm pretty sure one swing will prevent any actual damage taken to be healed up.
Right. With overcharge, you can just hit it down in 2 hits, I think.
Yeah. Too fast, too strong.
Looks like his quarry will be settled soon.
Oh yeah. Silencer now has enough for the Scythe, as you so correctly predicted. And now if they do have Sentry or Vision onto the Weaver, and Weaver decides to dash in, that's an easy kill. As if it wasn't easy with the Global Silence and Last Word anyways, but...
Yeah. Weaver's going BKB, so maybe not quite so easy, but if he doesn't know they have Vision, they can just find him out.
Yeah, it's a very smart pickup. Lincolns won't do anything here.
Right.
So much crowd control going out.
Drow trying to do these Ancients again.
They spot out by the ward track. Stun comes out from Tiny. Tossing a Visage Bird actually. And will get picked off by the Shuriken. RP coming on, landing on the 3. It's just getting right clicked down by the Tiny. So huge. The Bird's now taking the fall. Multicast times 2. Will land onto Paladin Knight. Paladin Knight getting chased out by the Weaver. Weaver almost picking the kill, but gets tossed up in the air. Will fall. Visage picking up the kill with a Soul Assumption. That's a godlike spree for your Visage.
Huge amount of gold.
If it went on the Weaver, I would say that's pretty much worth it, but Your support's picking up the gold as well as the EXP is not exactly the greatest thing in the world for the Radiant. Actually, Visage being gone on by the Silencer will Grave Chill. Juan Valdez, 3x multicast coming out. Bounty Hunter chasing down this Visage now. Global Silence coming out, juking around the tower, gets a lot of distance, but the track move speed will help a lot. Last word and a silence being followed up onto Juan Valdez will get sheeped up, stunned, and another +2 intelligence. Drow blinking in, coming in with the silence, trying to find anything she can right now. It's a 1v3 situation, not the best position to be in. Will get stunned and silenced. It's an easy kill. Coming in one by one, just not finding enough damage. This is so painful to watch.
That gold Visage got from that kill on Tiny, he started spending it on Aghanims. Aghanims is great, but oh, and here's the GG.
Yep, alright.
Aghanims is great, but I think he maybe should have just maybe built towards a mech or something, because he's not using the birds as much as he could have, I think. So
yeah. There's a lot of potential coming out from the Visage play, but the birds right now, we haven't seen very many good stuns. We've seen them picked off very easily. Doesn't look like it was a real GG, it was cancelled out, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But no more GG calls have been called, I guess it was fake. Mid, Bounty gets a solo kill onto the Magnus, newly picked up Desolator, sitting on 2k gold. My goodness.
Got that Vlad's too. Hitting really hard.
I'm not sure if this is a real GG call
There's
or
a real
not.
GG.
Alright, I guess.
Well, it's a game that's, you know, it's pretty hard to come back from the snowball that Tiny and Silencer did. With one of your cores, Weaver shut down as hard as he was. Drow couldn't really carry the game hard enough, especially because she chose to kind of farm through the entire mid game instead of coming to fights and trying to contribute as much as she could.
Yeah. It's kind of just snowballed out of the beginning of the game.
Not a lot for the Radiant team to do here, really.
And Drow not finding a good point to peek, and Magnus having very little AoE follow-up, couldn't really do much. Top lane played super aggressive, but overall it was a pretty interesting game. Got some funny moments. Tiny tossing the Wisp into the tower. Poor Io. Helping his buddy all the time, just like, okay, I'm
often
banning
get
you.
to see Silencer get that much in and hit as hard as he does that early. That's kind of fun to watch.
Oh yeah, Silencer snowballing is just hilarious. Just your enemies are just getting so much dumber, you know. Alright, so that wraps up that game. That was a best of one for those who are unaware. We do have the brackets linked up here onto the idle screen if you want to check out the brackets, but have that.